Okay, so let's continue talking about parameterized functions and overloaded functions. So I'm starting out, this is a separate program, a different theme now, and that we have a print character function. And basically this function is going to print just a simple character, a single character based on the Unicode. So I've called my function, this is the prototype up at the top, I called my function print character. Okay, and the parameter is going to be a string representing the Unicode, like the Unicode, like here for the coffee cup. We looked at that in a previous program. The smiley face. Okay, so that's what we mean. So that's what we're going to pass to the function as an argument. We'll pass a Unicode into the parameter. Okay, so we have our string parameter, and let's go down and look at the definition, which is really very simple. We have the Unicode coming through the door, and then once it's in the door, we're going to print that by dropping it into the cout output stream. Okay, so that's the function definition. And then finally the call, and I can call it as many times as I want with whatever characters I want. I've just hard-coded some character, some Unicodes, some strings with the Unicodes. And we will get our characters. We have a coffee cup, we have a snowman, and we have a smiley face. Now, look at that smiley face. That's what I call that an old school type of character. The smiley face, the heart, the diamond, the club and spade, you know, the suits of cards, and some of those, they're not like the newer emojis that are obviously colored and, you know, a lot more sophisticated. But before there were emojis, we had these little, you know, crude little characters. So I think I'm going to overload this function so that if I have one of these, I can at least put a little color, add a little color to that, so I get a yellow smiley face maybe, or a green shamrock or something. So let's overload our function. Recall from the last video that an overloaded functions, a pair of overloaded functions have the same name and different parameter lists. So I'm going to copy that. I'm still going to call it print character, but I'm going to add a second string parameter representing the color code, okay? And again, the color codes are defined up at the top. All right, so let's define that function. And now we are printing whatever character in whatever color is specified. Again, once the Unicode for the character and then the string for the color are in the door, we can use those and just put them in the output stream there. We definitely want to use our parameter names in our code. Oh, it's the color and Unicode. Color and Unicode. Okay, again, setting the color first, using the color parameter, and then printing the Unicode from that Unicode parameter. Okay, so now I've overloaded my function, my print character function. Now I've got two versions of it. All right, now I'm going to keep these function calls in there. I had mentioned in the last video that the compiler is smart enough to figure out which version to use based on the number of arguments you provide. So if I put in a call to print character, and this time I'm going to do the smiley face, which is, here's the Unicode for the smiley face, but I'm going to provide a color, in this case bold yellow. Okay. I should get my yellow smiley face. And there it is. Okay, so those are the first three function calls. Then this is the overload that I just did with the two parameters where I was able to specify the color. Okay. So let's see, I have another function call here. Let's try it with a different character. I don't know what that is, but hopefully it's a shamrock. Let's see. Yeah, there's my green shamrock. Okay, so we have the overloaded print character function. Now let's overload it one more time. Okay, I just had another idea. What I want to do is here I already have a prototype. Let's see. I'm going to copy that, paste it in. Okay, I'm going to overload this one more time, and I'm going to add an integer called num times. Okay, and so I've overloaded this function even further. Now I've got 3 parameters. Again, same name, different parameter lists. You see how these parameter lists are simply different? The first one has only 1. The second one has 2. That's different. The third one has 3. That's also different. Okay, so let me copy that. I'm going to paste it down below and work on my definition here. Okay, so so this will be like, let's say I want to see 5,000 yellow smiley faces. That's what we can do. We can write a loop in here to print, I think that's color, and then Unicode is what my parameter is. Very importantly, I'm using my parameters in the code. This is where those values are going to come through that door, okay? Num times will make this loop go X number of times, whatever the user wants or whatever we provide as an argument, 5,000, 50,000, whatever. And using the color parameter to set the color, printing the Unicode finally, all right? So let's do it. We'll call this latest version of print character. And in this case, I will print, let's see what we have here. I guess maybe I'll do the smiley face thing again. We'll do U263B. And how about some cyan smiley faces? We'll try. And let's say I want 5,000 of them. I totally want to fill the output screen down below. So this, again, the compiler is smart enough to sort it all out at runtime that we'll be printing the smiley face in cyan 5,000 times. It's going to execute this third version of print character. So let's go ahead and run that. Uh-oh. Oh, I guess I'm missing a semicolon. Okay, there we go. Okay, and there they are, my 5,000 smiley faces, in addition to all the other ones that I printed before that final function call. Okay, so yet another example of parameterized functions and overloaded functions. Okay, so each of these are all parameterized functions, but they're also overloaded because they have the same name and different parameter lists.